All right. So the reason I open up the show with the LL Cool J is because Christopher alluded to 23 years I've been doing this. My mom started the company in 1980. And don't call this a comeback. I've been here servicing my clients, as you hear, for a long time. And change is good. I embrace change. I know it's here. This is a dynamic world. If you rest on your laurels, it's foolish. One thing I would love to ask, if you could please take this back, can we get a paper application? Because sometimes the client doesn't have all the information. At least we could get all the pertinent information and go back into it. So basically, Christopher will talk more. Chris is the guru. But let me tell you, as an agent, I am struggling through this like you can't believe. First of all, you can go in onto accesshealthct.com. You can go in and just shop it easily. But that'll give you just a generic quote, okay? So these terms we're learning, MAGI, M-A-G-I, Modified Adjusted Gross Income. You want to teach people that, right? I know. CHIP, Children's Health Insurance Program. CHIP was not the right word here, but what it really is for us people in Connecticut, it's called Husky. So just pick that option. You know, a good friend of mine, an attorney so-and-so, came in this morning. He applied. So I'm going to have Chris go over exactly step-by-step how to do it. But let me tell you, some of these things you don't know as a person. It's not as easy as just going to Expedia or Priceline or, so you really need to know. You need to have what he tells you. Please, if you have any questions, 203-757-1320. But grab a pen, all right? Because a qualified health plan is hard to get. Chris, take it away. You got the rest of the show.
Great. Thank you, Michael.
All right, so I'm a user.
Yes.
How do I do this? Everyone, get a pen and go to your computer.
So you walk into a storefront, you sit down with an insurance broker. It's very important that you come and prepared and you're proactive. You bring the documents needed. So I'm talking about W-2s, your pay stubs, any type of citizenship documents, birth certificate, social security card. Make sure you carry it in something that's concealed so you can protect your private information.
Correct.
But you will need to provide this information, upload it into the system, or make a copy of it to mail into Access Health to verify the documentation to receive your tax credit. So the process to go through the application, when you go to accesshealth.com, it's a very clear website.
CT.com.
Accesshealthct.com, correct. It's a very clear website with where to go and how to apply. You have an individual tab. You have a family tab. When you go to the tab and you start your application, you're going to fill out your basic information. You're going to make a username. It feels almost like making your banking profile.
Right.
It's an online banking profile. This isn't a one-time application. This is something you're going to progressively change, update, pivot, and you're going to have to make some fundamental changes to it during the course of the year and next year.
Correct.
Once you make your basic information, you're going to have to make a username and password. You're going to have to make security questions. We want your information to be secure. You're going to go through, and a question is going to ask you.
There'll be 4 security questions.
Exactly
right.
4. Correct.
Okay, so the first one, I have it memorized. It starts with how many bones have you broken? What's your dream vacation?
Well, you're quite the athlete.
Yeah, I'm not joking. And I got to give Kristen and Gene credit. They're geniuses with this. Kristen's always saying to me,
your staff is
just
great.
move over. Let me do it.
Yeah.
So you've got to create an account. Me, the broker out there with the radio show, you got to close your eyes. Create an account is on the upper right. Okay, so you click on that. Yeah. The 3 tabs Chris is talking about is just basic. Get information, look at prices, and then get help. Okay, so those are 3 tabs that'll float across the screen. But what you've got to do is you've got to close your eyes and see it. This is not something you can joke around about. Your password has to be something you're going to remember in your sleep. Something, something, bang. So you need a number, you need an exclamation point, or an @ sign. So it's 9 to 15 or 9 to 16 digits.
Yep.
I'm almost positive it's 9 to 15,
but
I'll check it. Okay, so when you're doing this, don't just willy-nilly it. Let Chris talk to you like the guru that he is and write this stuff down, okay? So uppercase letters, 1 lowercase letter, 1 number, and 1 special character, such as the @ sign, a $sign, a percentage sign, an exclamation point. Those are the items above the numbers on your keyboard. Take it away.
Yeah. So once you make your profile and you go in, you're going to come to a tab that's going to ask you, do you need help paying for your health insurance? if you're looking to receive an advanced premium tax credit and help paying for your health insurance, you need to check yes.
And if you don't, you get to the end of the website, you've run the quote, and the prices are ridiculously expensive, and it's a $12,000 deductible. So listen slowly, go a little slower so they can actually do this while they're online with us now.
Absolutely.
All right, so you click yes, people.
You're clicking yes. From that,
and those income limits, for my listeners, are 92, 4, 75. Go ahead. Tell them some of the parameters.
So basically, the way the income. Before I get to the income parameters,
let me just be quiet.
Take them through the process. So once you go through that section, you're going to get to a section that asks you to fill in your information. It's going to ask for your income. It's going to ask you specifically for your 2012 income. This is going to be based on what your tax returns tell you. The reason that this is so important is 2012 calendar year is already in the books. Your taxes have already been done. You can take your information and you can put it into the system, and we have a way of verifying it. Now, this process is a little bit complicated, but I think it's important to explain to people.
Please do. And
why
they've got to get
how
this.
It works.
This is where you're going to get caught up if you don't have this information in front of you.
Correct.
You can't wing it.
Exactly. You cannot wing it. So the 2012 income, specifically what it does in the system when you put your income information in, it takes the information, it adjudicates it down to the federal hub. The federal hub is a system down in D.C. This is not healthcare.gov. The federal hub is a system that sends your information to the different government agencies where we can verify. So Social Security, Homeland Security, the IRS.
Right.
We work with those agencies to verify your information. So if you say you made $52,000 in a year, and that's going to determine your tax credit for your Access Health plan, we can verify that information. It's also important that you correctly input the information for the 2013 and 2014 income. The system will actually ask you to put in your 2013 income and 2014 income, and it will furthermore ask on the next page if your 2013 income is going to be the same as 2014, if 2012 income will be the same as 2013. And this is important because we verify your information based on your 2012 income and what you put in for 2013, what you made based on this year. However, the true tax credit that you receive will be based on the modified adjusted gross income for 2014. So nothing else matters when it's all said and done except for the 2014 modified adjusted gross income. Because what's going to happen is...
Maggie.
Exactly. What people are receiving right now are called APTCs. That stands for Advanced Premium Tax Credit. The reason we're giving advanced premium tax credits is because Access Health understands that people need help now. And what this will do is it'll help them subsidize their health insurance
premiums
during the 2014 calendar year. What's going to happen is in 2015, once this process is completed, your taxes will be done by your CPA, tax professional, H&R Block, or whoever is doing your taxes. And what they're going to do is they're going to look back in this 2014 and say, okay, here's your modified adjusted gross, true modified adjusted gross for 2014. This is what you received in an advanced premium tax credit. If what you received for a tax credit doesn't match what your true income was for 2014, they will reconcile that. So, for example, if somebody says they make $20,000 and they're going to make $20,000 in 2014, if in 2014 they receive a raise or they work extra hours, they make $25,000, this will affect their advanced premium tax credit.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
My fantastic coworker, I have a building company, and right now we're restoring my log cabin up in Watertown. Mm-hmm. So Curtis, no last names for HIPAA reasons. Curtis is doing such a good job for me. I find more work for him. He's making $58,000 now. He's got a family of 4. I ran the quote for him, and he qualified for Husky. He says, no, I'm a hard worker. My wife's just staying home this year to raise the kids. I don't want Husky. How do we fix that for my buddy Curtis? How do we fix that? How can he get a qualified health plan? He doesn't want Husky for his family.
That's a good question, Mike. The way the system was set up at Access Health, if people check the box for receiving help, paying for their health insurance, the Husky determination is what they're going to receive. If there's somebody who expects to make more in 2014,
he's a hustler. He's going to.
Yeah, if he expects to be into that threshold,
that's exactly
which
what we
will get
did.
him a a tax credit during the 2014 calendar year, he can denote that on his application in 2014. And furthermore, there's a process on the system when you log into your Access Health profile and your application is completed. There's a process in the system that will allow you to report an income or financial change. This is why I'm trying to explain it as a banking online profile or an online payment profile. It's not necessarily an application. The reason I say it's like a banking profile is because during the course of the year, if somebody's financial situation changes, so for Curtis, in your example,
right, my buddy,
if his income goes up because he gets more work, he makes an extra $10,000.
We've already addressed it. He's making around 60 now. Yep. He knows he's going to make 78.
Correct. So
when we put that in the box,
if his income goes up,
he qualified.
Exactly. If his income goes up, and he truly makes that extra in income, he will receive the advanced premium tax credit during the course of the 2014 calendar year. And it's even more important for people who receive a tax credit anyway based on their current income. And if they have a financial change, whether it's good or bad, they can go onto their profile during the course of the year, click the report a change in income.
Remember, that's go re-sign in, know your username, know your password.
It's on the right-hand side of the page. Yep. Under quick links, it says report income, household information.
Right.
And they go into that part of their profile, they can make a change, and what it'll do is it'll automatically adjust the tax credit so that person doesn't have a tax liability at the end of the calendar year.
Okay, so now what we are finding is honesty is the best policy. Chris here, I got an email from him the other night at like 11 o'clock at night. He's going 7 days a week. He has now gotten so good at it. In the beginning, we were told take the tax credit. Now, a couple days ago, he sends an email out. Don't take the full tax credit. Take about, go ahead.
Yeah, let me explain that.
See, that's what I want people to hear.
Yes. So
we're tweaking it.
So going back to how you get through the application, once you're qualified, you put all your financial information in. It's very important also to understand that you will have to upload documents and send documentation in to verify. Once you're approved for your tax credit, your advanced premium tax credit, you will get to the page where you select the plan. You'll have the different carriers, insurance companies, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, Healthy Connecticut, and Connecticut spreadsheeted on this page. On the bottom right-hand corner, you will see a box that says Advanced Premium Tax Credit. There'll be a sliding scale. There'll be a bar. So if let's say your tax credit's $250, there'll be a sliding scale at the bottom of the page. You can take your mouse and slide that back and withhold some tax credits. But here's the great thing. If you're somebody who gets $250 a month in tax credits and you can afford to only take $200, you scale that tax credit scale back by $50. If you were truly supposed to be given the $250 in advanced premium tax credit, at the end of the year in 2015, when your tax accountant or your CPA is going through your taxes, he can get you back that $50 a month.
Or $600 a year.
Or $600 a year, exactly.
And he can do that by applying it to the federal.
When he's doing your taxes, there'll be a line on the tax form for him to do that, so you can get back that $50 that was owed to you. The important reason, the reason I was sending that to Mike and all the other brokers that I work with is, one, to set expectations and make sure that the people out there who are going through Access Health don't put themselves in a position to have a big tax liability. Right. My theory is that if somebody can afford to, it's more important to me to have them scale back their subsidy by 20-30%. And then during the course of 2014, if their income changes and they're not able to call Access Health or they're not able to go onto their profile and change their financial information, and they end up owing 35-40% in tax credit back because their income increased and they owe more back, they're not going to have as big a tax liability at the end of the year. So it's just another way for brokers to set the right expectation from the beginning, set the precedent that this is based on the 2014 calendar year. We're not in 2014 yet. We want to help you. We want to make sure you have tax credits to be able to pay for your premium, but we also don't want people having a large tax liability. So what you can do is take the sliding scale, slide the sliding scale back. On the actual form where it's giving you the different carriers and the different plans that you can choose, it has the premium after the tax credit. It's important to set the expectation and make sure that people understand how this is going to play out. It's based on your true modified adjusted gross income. Another thing I wanted to talk about, I know you do a lot of small businesses, Mike, and you're very involved in the community. For small businesses out there who want to purchase individual health insurance, It's important to understand when you denote on the application that you are a small business owner or sole proprietor, the system will not ask you for the modified adjusted gross. What it's asking you for is your true gross income. And what it's going to ask you on the next page is for your deductions. So when you're an individual person applying through Access Health, it's going to ask you for your modified adjusted gross income. You need to put that on there, and it will give you your tax credit. For a small business owner, the system will actually pivot, and it'll ask you for your gross income. And a lot of the challenges that people have had that are small business owners or sole proprietors is that they're putting their modified adjusted gross income that their accountant gives them on the initial page. And they're going to the next page and being asked for deductions. And they're saying, oh, wait a minute, I already put my deductions in. It's included in the number. So it's important, if you're a small business owner and you're going on accesshealth.ct.com, make sure that you put your gross income in first. The next page after that, when you hit the next button, will ask you for your deductions, and you can put your deductions in the format that it asks you. It'll give you different items to deduct, and you'll be able to go through it like that, and it'll give you the correct tax credit, which is very important.
Right. On the HIX, on the Health Insurance Exchange.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for someone who's been doing this, you set up, the most important part is the username and password. Know it. You're going to know the 4 questions. That's simple. Then once you check yes that you're going to look for an advanced premium tax credit, you're going to put in line 32. It'll be the bottom line on your 2012 tax return. And like Chris was saying, all your deductions are going to be included in that. Then once you put in that premium, you're going to pick your children. It will ask you, is Josephine and then you click wife, husband. It'll give you both options. Michael, wife, husband. And then it'll ask you your children. Alexander, brother, sister of Lance. Lance, brother, sister of. Don't just bypass that. You won't go to the next screen. So you keep hitting next, which is on the bottom right of each page. Once you get through the information, then you're going to get some options. We're not going to talk carrier today, but we are going to talk some options. There's a bronze, which is honestly not the best insurance. If you can, don't take that unless you're an Olympic athlete. You've got tons of money saved.
Oh, so you, Mike.
You've got a ton of money saved. I'm not talking a little. I'm talking at least 12 grand clear cash. It's basically your most affordable HSA with any carrier out there these days. So the gold is for the good people who want a copay. The gold will also be adjusted with the copay. It'll start with a default $30 copay. But depending on your income, the copay itself will also lower. Then you've got the
cost-sharing reduction.
Cost-sharing, correct. Then you've got the middle, which is called the silver, which is slowly becoming my go-to because it's affordable. The hospital deductible is not that expensive at $3,000 or whatever the cost-sharing is. But it allows you to have a little more flexibility on the premium. And remember, these tax subsidies will go away sooner or later. So get in your comfort zone, know what you can afford, and start saving your money. So when it actually does go true live, bronze, silver, gold, click here and buy one, you're ready and you've got some money saved. Also another thing, with the gold, there's a bunch of plans, and we're not going to talk about that today. But go with a good company name. You'll recognize these names when you see them as choices. Are we allowed to even say the names?
You can say the names.
All right, there's Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. There's Connecticut. We know Aetna pulled out. We're not concerned about Aetna right now. We're going to go with those who believed in us this year. And those products are quality products. The shop, United Healthcare, chose to go with the shop. But remember, people, you're buying Oxford when you buy a small group under 50. You're not buying United Healthcare National out of Minnetonka, Minnesota. You're getting an Oxford product. So with the Connecticut and with the Anthem, they're established. They're in Connecticut, 175 Scott Swamp Road, 15 Legis, Wallingford, Connecticut. You do have a little more access to claims, because the reason you're buying insurance is you're going to have a claim sooner or later. Producer Tom's telling us we're going to take a break. We're going to plug the sponsors, and we'll be back. Please, if you have questions for Chris, call in. He's the guru from Access Health CT. Talk to you soon.